kids finish practicing and just tell you a little about
Is that going to be okay?
what First Lego League is and why I love it. Come right over here. We've got a place for you.
We'll need to separate so you can go.
I can see perfectly
Let me
right
start
now.
briefly by just letting you guys introduce yourselves to each other, and I'll start with the hosts. This is people from RCAM. So Anita, would you briefly introduce yourself, tell who you are and what you do?
Certainly. I'm Anita Campbell. I'm the Programs and Services Coordinator here, so it's really mainly behind-the-scenes logistics and operations.
Okay. Keith Bowery here at RCAM. I'm a curriculum designer. I get to play with a lot of new technology that comes in. When we get new equipment, I get to figure out how it works.
Awesome.
You know, and kind of write job aids for students and people who will be teaching those types of things.
Great.
Love the job.
Ron Broadway, work here at RCAM, technical coordinator. I buy all the stuff he plays with. I go find it, you know, and I keep the building right, and I make sure all the labs that we have raw materials for each lab, and that lesson plans are all updated, and just kind of managing the whole building.
Fantastic.
Help us remember, y'all provide apprentices or operators for Eastman and
Yes,
for
we do.
Domtar?
We do apprentice training for Eastman. We got 52 labs that we teach down here for them, and Domtar is taking over, and they're doing some of their labs here also. They're taking some that we've already developed and using, and then we're going out into the community and other businesses. We got them with 4 apprentices, and we got another one with 4. We've got some that's wanting to start. Well, we're trying to do apprentice training for the small company that can't afford to put something together.
That's
Makes
fantastic.
sense, yeah.
We're also training 50 Texas Eastman apprentices remotely.
You're training Texas?
Yeah.
Remote
I think a lot of the ideas for the apprenticeship program at Eastman came from Texas, at least the idea of being certified. Okay? Ron, you want to?
Yeah, I'm Ron Dixon. I'm an Eastman retiree, mechanical engineer, and been retired for almost 18 years now. But enjoy seeing kids do things like this. And my expertise now is in teaching retirees to go drink coffee and eat breakfast.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, I'm in his class. I'm Nick Rabarn. I'm a retired engineer from way back, and I have a tie-in that Allison's my daughter, and one of the team members is my grandson. And I once coached the Lego robotics team, and I just think it's a wonderful program. I'm glad to see it being picked up in the city school system and in other areas. I mean, it's just blossomed. In Virginia, helped me out, Allison, 2 years ago, they went to the state tournament up in Harrisonburg. Anyway,
Yeah,
they had like, I don't know, 200 teams or something competing. And those kids from Northern Virginia, I tell you what,
Yeah,
it was, I mean, this team, Allison's other my grandchildren, they competed in that one about 30 years ago, and the region was done in Abingdon. And they kept saying, why isn't there, you know, a competition here in Tennessee? Well, you got to go to Knoxville and then
so the good news is that now for 2 years there's been a competition at ETSU.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
yeah, that's great.
But I'm always at her disposal when she's in a pinch. She said, Dad, we need a place to meet. And oh, by the way, the primary reviewer canceled out.
Well, we're just really glad that you guys came on short notice. So thank you, and thanks to Dad for spearheading it. Go ahead.
I'm David Edwards. I'm a civil engineer. I work for the city of Kingsport, and deal a lot with water-related things, which is
Very
that's
pertinent.
why I've been summoned
Yes,
to
you
be
have been
here.
summoned.
But prior to coming, I didn't know anything about the Lego robotics and your Lego League. Over the past couple of hours, I've been reading about it, and it looks awesome. I'm happy to get to kind of see you in action here today.
Great, thank you. We're glad to have you here.
So I'm Brad Overturf. I'm a retired chemical engineer from Eastman. I've been out about 7 years. And longtime friend of the Rabari and Meredith family. And I've also had experience with science fair judging in the elementary school system.
So, thank you again for your time. So I just wanted to briefly tell you why what we're doing today has nothing to do with Legos or robots, and yet it's called First Lego League, and it's called Lego Robotics. So this is a program that was created about 15 years ago and started in the Virginia area, came to Abingdon about 9 years ago through a friend of mine, was on that committee, and had one of the first Abingdon teams. I live in Bristol. So about 8 years ago, she called and said, I have space on a team with my kids, and it's robots and Legos, and we meet everyone. Like, yes. My answer was yes. I had a house full of boys who love Legos, and robots are exciting. So I joined her team. Then I inherited her team, which now meets in my garage when her kids aged out of it. It's a wonderful program that, in my case, is a neighborhood team of homeschool families, but could be a team at a church or a team at a school. And there's 4 ways that the kids are judged. 50% of it is robot, how they design the robot and how it performs in a 2.5-minute timed competition. Then the 25% is core values. They are judged on how well they've displayed teamwork and integration, etc. One of the main core values is kids do the work. That is an actual listed core value, and the judges are looking for proof that the coaches didn't do it. And so during our team meetings at my house, I will frequently just kind of be not doing much and let them figure it out and fail their way to success, because we all know that's one of the best ways to learn. And then the 25% that you're here for is the project. So every year there's a theme, and this year the theme is the human water cycle. So not the natural rain evaporation, natural water cycle, but humans use water, the water gets dirty, and we need to clean it and reuse it. So what's a problem with that, and how could we fix that? So I just wanted to bring a sample to show you how Legos and robots tie into this. Every year they give us, we have to buy about $200 worth of Legos, and there's a table about twice as big as one of these, which is in my garage on sawhorses. And that table is covered with about 12 obstacles. This is an example of an obstacle, and it's got this old-fashioned Velcro, which makes it secure to the table. The kids had to build this, of course, at the beginning of the season. And they have to build a robot for this mission. The robot has to take a water capsule, and the robot has to not remote control. Quiet on the chest, please. But not by remote controlling, but by pre-programming the robot. The robot has to take the water capsule and push it hard enough that the flower stands up. And they get maybe 15 points if that happens, and if it's kind of like this, they might get 3 points. So it's a problem-solving game of how can we get the most points in only 2.5 minutes, etc. And all of the missions on this year's table are designed around the human water cycle. So the table is meant to inspire them to think of ideas. So for example, one of the missions on the robot field that I gave you a copy of 3 of the missions has to do with how to get rid of sludge, and this is a very rudimentary picture, but you could look it up online with more information. But from the table, they're inspired to think of a real-world problem, research it, come up with a solution. So I think that's enough introduction. You're just here mostly to listen to their ideas and give them feedback. Okay, I have one quick story. I promise it's quick. So, there's something I learned when I went to Virginia Tech and got my degree in math with a minor in education. And there's something that we learned about 2 circles. So this is what I know, and around it is what I think there is to know. So kids go through lots of stages. When they're a teenager, they say this is maybe a 7-year-old kid, and this is a 15-year-old kid. So a 15-year-old kid, let's make it a little bigger, has a little more knowledge than what the 7-year-old had, right? But what's interesting, I better make that diagram a little different. What's interesting is that 15-year-olds think they know everything. Okay, so I'll cover up that mistake. So the 15-year-old, the inner circle, knows more, has more knowledge, but has kind of lost this wonder, like doesn't really know what he does. I made an A in biology. I know everything there is to know about biology. So my kids the team was researching, and they came up with this amazing idea that they could clean and reuse gray water. And they were so excited. And the next meeting I said, okay, what are you going to do? They said, we're going to make our brochures. And I said, no, you're not. You're going to go research it. So they Googled, gray water systems, and they said, you don't believe this. Other people thought of that great idea first. I mean, their whole mindset was, they're as smart as us. Like, it just hadn't occurred to them. So that's just a story to give you a reminder of the age group you're dealing with. They just don't know what they don't know. So when they walk into judging at state in next week, the judges will have this sheet of paper And the kids have 5 minutes to do a planned presentation, and then the judges have 5 minutes to ask them questions. So we'll go with the 5 minutes of planned, and then we shouldn't take too much longer than that to ask questions, but you do not have to use this, but that's what the judges are going to use at state. So with that
So Allison, what are
introduction,
the
yes,
age range of your kids?
9 to 14 is the age of the teen. Are we about ready? All right, I think we will just roll. Thank you so much. Oh, I thought they were right at the door. It looks like they're almost right at the door.
Anita, thank you for setting this up.
Oh, you're welcome.
Sure, it was,
You're very welcome.
Hi, we're the Hydras, and we're going to give you our project skip. My building is creating so much runoff. The runoff is creating a big ditch. I wish there was a solution for my runoff problem.
I can't believe how much water I'm wasting, and my sewer bill is just getting bigger. I need a solution.
I'm watching all this water go down the drain, and to think I have to pay for this.
We have a solution for all your problems. It will stop runoff, slow your sewer bill, and help with your water bill.
And we can solve all your problems with one idea.
Wow, cool, great, amazing. I didn't know that was possible.
Is it really true?
Yes, the Hydras system is the best invention yet. Our problem is that people are wasting clean water and they are mad when they have to pay for it. People waste about 400 gallons of water a day. 2.4% of that water is found in the toilet. According to EPA, you should only use about 2.5 gallons of water a day per household.
We got our information from a guy on the radio, a few people from JA Street, and we went on a field trip to a rain garden and learned about a rain garden, and that's where we got the idea for our problem.
After we went on the field trip and learned about the rain gardens, we came back and started to talk about things that people waste clean water on. However, it took a while to come up with a solution.
Our solution helps with wildlife. Because the water that goes from your house and buildings pollutes and kills the animals in the water and helps on the work sites.
Our solution is to have a tank in the ground and have a gutter system that takes the rainwater to the tank. But before it goes into the tank, it gets filtered. The tank has another system hooked up to it that takes the gray water from the sinks and takes it to the tank, and it also gets filtered in with the rainwater from the gutter. When the tank gets full, it shuts off so that it does not allow overflow. The black water is taken from your house into the sewer system. The water in the tank can be reused, so your water bill is not so high and it saves water. And a famous saying says, every gallon saved is a gallon you do not have to buy.
Our solution came from our field trip to Abington, Virginia at the farmer's market where we learned about rain gardens. Without rain gardens, the streets would be overflowed with water, and the oil from the car's engines pollutes the water and makes it unusable. Then we thought about our tank and how we could use that water without wasting it.
We shared our project with Daryl Moody from WXIS, who does the radio, and Marcus Wilcoy is a project manager. His job is to build houses. Mr. Wilcoy is the one who gave us the idea to mix the gray water and rainwater through natural filters. Matt Baker is a person who has over 60 years of metalworking. Jeremy Fields, he is a civil engineer. He is the guy who gave us the idea of LEED certification. Billy Taylor, he is a project manager and has over 21 years of residential and commercial and building experience. Sherry Brown is a project coordinator and does local lead government.
It is not that expensive to separate the gray water and the rainwater from the tanks. To keep the water in the tank cleaner, you can use a treatment tablet. This is a good solution to use in cities because they are now charging for stormwater. Polyethylene tanks that store 500 gallons of water usually cost $300 to $500.
We came up with this skit to be more creative so you guys could understand more of what our problem and solution are. And we also have a diagram to show you what we are doing here, what we're talking about. And this is our presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it and you guys have any questions.
It's hard to see the details on your schematic, but I wonder,
We can pull it up.
explain to me exactly how that works.
Okay, so here, okay, so the tank will go underground with just a little bit above the house, so you don't dig it up or anything, and so you can get down and clean it.
And be easier to clean it.
And so the gutter, it will flow down from the gutter and go into the tank. And there's an overflow pipe for the gutter and for the gray water that sends into the sewer. And there's the natural filters for when the gray water puts it into this tank. And the output sends it into the house's pipes and distributes it as it's needed. And then it has a drain to drain the water so you can get and clean it without getting all wet.
Is there any hookup there to, like, the discharge from the dishwasher or washing machine?
They're all hooked up to
Well, it doesn't do it for things such as dishwashers and stuff, because you would want clean water for that.
Yeah, you don't want dirty water cleaning the dishes.
It's not fully dirty, but
Partially.
yeah. You would use the water from your dishwater.
Is that all gravity fed, or do you have pumps? that
There's
pump it out?
pumps. There are pumps to pump it up and
So you're taking the water off the gutter, and then you've got a filtering system, and then pump it back to the house.
yeah.
So if it's not clean enough to use in your dishwasher, what would you use it in the house?
You use it for your toilet. You would use it to wash your hands, kind of, because you don't need 100% clean water to do that.
Because they're just going to
And Holly, do you want to tell one? A thing that you would use the tank for.
You could like use it to like, I don't know,
to water your garden.
wash your pets.
It would run it to your
Give your dog
hose,
a bath.
because almost everything you use from your hose doesn't need to be clean. You just like 100% clean. So you could use it to play water games, to
What's the capacity of your holding tank?
did you talk about the
There was a tank that could hold up to like 500 gallons of water. With polyethylene.
Yeah.
And how did you decide how large that tank needed to be?
We went to J.A. Street and talked to a couple of architects, and they kind of told us how big we need it and how expensive it's going to be. They said you don't need a really big one for just uses for watering the garden and pets and stuff, and it's not expensive at all.
But she'd want to use it in like homes that are being created so you could like put it in. But it'd be harder to install it in a house that's already like like standing.
because it'd be hard to put this into an existing house.
You have to redo all the plumbing in the house too.
And you don't have to worry about when it snows because it's underground and it's not likely to freeze. Yeah.
Somebody mentioned that the average household uses a person with 40 gallons.
400.
Yeah, people waste 400 gallons of water, and EPA
Per year,
per day.
Per day.
per day?
We waste a lot of water because
That's
when you do your dishes, people usually have it on full blast, and it just goes.
And you keep the water running while you're brushing your teeth and you
Oh,
turn
you
it
don't
on.
do that, do you?
I have a bad habit of
I
doing
think we all do. Did you have a chance to look at, if you had this system installed, how much water might you estimate that you might save?
Maybe you'll save a lot of money if you don't. If you use this, you'll save a lot of money.
We didn't get an exact amount of water that you save, but all of the water that comes from your dishwasher, your washer,
It'll all
your bathroom sink, not your kitchen sink, because your kitchen sink could have raw meat and stuff,
and that's black
and
water.
your bath, maybe, I think your bath and stuff would go to it, and all of the stuff from your gutter, and that's
And it
a
filters
lot of
it.
water.
Yes, it filters it and you can use it again.
But if you want to use this tank, you'd have to clean your gutter more often so it doesn't get stuffed up.
And the
'Cause
black
it-
water would go to the sewer, because black water is.
Yeah, it's not good. You don't want that.
Yeah, not clean.
So what is the largest water usage in a house?
I could probably be like sinks and bathtubs.
Yeah, probably the sink.
Because you use the sinks for like everything.
I'd say like the dishwasher, the washer, things.
No, it's the sink.
Yeah, just in case you like.
Is this a process that you want to try to sell the technology?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, if you're trying to design this, and you want to put it out there, they've got to know his question. How much are you saving? How many gallons of water? How much does that relate to in cost?
Okay.
Everybody's about cost.
Okay, so guys, put your poster back on that table, and you 6 kids come grab one of these chairs, and I want you to just sit at the same table where these nice judges are, volunteer professionals, and get your clipboards and start writing down some of the great input they're giving you. Just roll it right over. Just sit right in front of them at the same table. Yeah. Hey fish, get off your derriere and roll your own thing. And so I'm thinking Mr. Guevara or Mr. Everett, one of them already just asked you good questions, how much water you would save, and one of you can say, that's a great question, we can research that, right? So they're gonna have some good questions for you. We need to leave quickly with these things.
Yeah, see, every one of you live in a house, so your parents all get a water bill somehow. And they all, you can go to their water bill and you can find out how much water goes into each house. And you can get an average. And then you can think about how much water you can save.
It's okay when you make a calculation like that, say, well, it could range from this to this, you know.
Yeah.
Do that exactly.
It doesn't have to be exact, because every household will have a different amount of usage.
Depends on how many girls are in the family. How long they spend in the shower.
I've got a grandson that takes a longer bath than I've ever seen in my life. And the water's running continuously, and he gets done in 30 minutes.
And then you could put in the Navy shower where you turn it on for 2 minutes and turn the shower off and soap up and then rinse off. Anyway, it's fascinating.
From a cost perspective, we're talking about how much you use and putting a dollar amount on that. Also think about how much of an investment you're making in the supplies and to build the system, and at what point in time would the savings pay off the incorporation of this system. So would it take 4 years or however much time it would take to offset the cost from your water bill to what you spent to install the system?